Star Wars 7 by 7 episode 2612. With the reports coming in about the possibility of filming ending on the Andor series and the Kenobi series, I thought it might be worth considering the possibility that the dates on those are a little different from what we might have thought in terms of when we will actually see them on Disney+. Punch it. Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod and this is Star Wars 7 by 7, your daily dose of Star Wars joy, and thank you so much for joining me for it. So I think we have been walking around, and maybe it's just me, maybe you already have figured this one out yourself, but I think we've been walking around with an idea that we would be seeing the Andor series before the Kenobi series, and the reason why that's the case is because of the fact that the Andor series started filming back in November of 2020, and the Kenobi series just started filming a couple months ago, so yeah, there is a logic to that. But there have been rumors kicking around over the past week or so about the end of principal photography for Andor and for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Of course, none of this has been confirmed by Disney or Lucasfilm, so it's entirely up in the air, but there have been, I guess, reports of various people involved in these series saying that their portions of filming are done, and so that certainly does suggest a downhill slope, right? That we are nearing the ending of principal photography for at least one, if not both, of these series. But here's the thing. If it is the case that Kenobi and Andor are going to complete principal photography at roughly the same time, well, it's much more likely that we're going to see the Kenobi series first, and here's why. If you think about Season 2 of The Mandalorian, they finished their principal photography just before Hollywood shut down because of COVID, so basically in early March of 2020. And they were still able to debut Season 2 of The Mandalorian on Disney Plus on October 30th, and that was an 8-episode season. In other words, it took them basically 7 months to go from the end of principal photography to the debut of the series. 7 months for an 8-episode season. Now, the Kenobi series is, and I know this has gone back and forth, I think we're at a 6-episode series, and hopefully that's accurate, but if not, then it's 4, which then the timeline becomes even shorter. So let's just roll with 6, versus the Andor series, which is a 12-episode series. So if you do the math, then it seems very likely that the Kenobi series is slated for a late winter / early spring debut, and because of that, there's a very good chance that the Kenobi series will have run its course before Star Wars Celebration Anaheim 2022. And that, of course, is Memorial Day weekend, so late May. Now, as far as the Andor series then, because of the fact that, there are 12 episodes, so, give it a year, give or take. So that means we are looking at summer 2022 for the Andor series, and it's a 12-episode series, so it's going to run for just about 3 months. And so this also kind of gives us an idea about the possibility of The Mandalorian Season 3, which has not started filming yet, but I think it's supposed to be starting in September, at least. That's what I think a couple of interviews have suggested. So yeah, that's going to run its course and probably set it up for a fall 2022 release. And so that would be the order of operations for us next year. It would be Kenobi before Celebration, Andor kicking off shortly after Celebration, and Mandalorian Season 3 happening in the latter part of the year. And this isn't the only situation where maybe timelines and that sort of thing are switching around. We've talked in the past on the show about how Taika Waititi's Star Wars movie seems to be headed for the 2025 slot on the release calendar. And we don't know what 2027 is going to be, but it seems possible that Kevin Feige's movie might be in that slot. Well, based on a recent interview with Kevin Feige, it's possible maybe that could even be switching, because Taika Waititi, as we've talked about in a recent episode, said that he has a story, but his script is still at the exterior space place, which just means that he hasn't written the script. They have a story, but not a script. But Kevin Feige was just interviewed for, a various bunch of things. And of course, he's getting asked about Star Wars. He was asked about the state of the script, which is being written by Michael Waldron. And he said that it's in the works, that it's in progress or in process. And if it's actually the script, if it's actually the screenplay that's in process, then he is farther along than Taika Waititi, potentially. I mean, the Taika interview was in July, so maybe he's gotten a little further past. But now, at the very least, it's neck and neck potentially, and it's possible that the order has flipped. And this, of course, presupposes that Patty Jenkins' Rogue Squadron is not going to be something that has successive films behind it, that it's not, the first in a trilogy or a series or anything like that, because, of course, that would be jumping into the production calendar naturally as well. But yeah, we'll see about that. But anyway, big takeaway from this episode is that it looks like, just based on the fact that principal photography is wrapping up for both Andor and Kenobi, and considering how many episodes there are in their respective seasons, that we're probably looking at a late winter, early spring 2022 release for Kenobi, a summer release for Andor, and a fall release for Mandalorian Season 3 next year. And that is going to do it for this episode of the show. It just remains for me to say thank you so much for joining me for it, as always, and may the Force be with you, wherever in the world you may be.
7 is not endorsed or sponsored yet by Lucasfilm Limited, Disney, or 20th Century Fox, and is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Star Wars, the Star Wars logo, all names and pictures of Star Wars characters, vehicles, and any other Star Wars-related items are registered trademarks and/or copyrights of Lucasfilm Limited, or their respective trademark and copyright holders. May the Force be with them. All original content is copyright 2021 by Star Wars 7x7. We hope you love it.